wish that you were able to get onto that podcast. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to become the best at what you do. So,
And for you to be relevant, you have to know what's new,
yeah, right,
what's trending.
right. It's really, and it's crazy how things change so rapidly. So rapidly, things in the industry change. At least in our industry, I'm sure other industries as well. It is just crazy with everybody's ideas, and their ability to actually put those ideas into motion is yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So this summer we kind of tried to embark a little bit on doing Spill the Tea podcast with a little bit more of a serious note, and um, and we were talking about the importance of messages on T-shirts and how important it is that when somebody looks at you, they see where you're coming from. So you don't even have to open up your mouth. You don't have to say a word. People just get your message. Very similar to, you go to a concert, you like a certain music artist, you wear that T-shirt with pride, and the person who walks past you on the street or sits next to you in a restaurant, they know that you're a fan of that band, and so you kind of have a connection. Well, it's the same thing when you wear a T-shirt that has an important message on it about mental health, about school safety, about drugs and alcohol, about even politics, and it's huge. It's huge, or how you feel if like a poem or something like that, or if you have a child with a disability, you want to kind of share your message with people so that they see you with an unspoken word, and it's basically it's a billboard, and it's so important. So we did a podcast with Lori Alhadeff from Make Our Schools Safe, and unfortunately Guillermo was in a blackout.
Yeah, one of the advantages of living in Venezuela, a national blackout.
Right, right. So you kind of had like a crazy summer in
Yeah,
Venezuela.
fun. It's always fun.
You never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. It's so sad for me. I miss that recording that podcast, but I mean, every time I hear Lori's story and how she started and why she started, and it moved me. And same with every time I do some work for her. Is a really powerful message that you don't see that often on TV, or because you always been saw the bad news or bad stuff, but not people try to do good and try to make stuff better, like school safety,
Hmm.
because that's a big thing on the US. I know that from the TV, from the bad news.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been working with Lori for a couple years now, and she even copied you by making a coloring book um, about
Yeah.
Alyssa. And so you talk about the impact that people have on each other, and how people can use that to good, for good. And I'm sure that makes you feel good that she took something that you did and created something on her
Yeah.
own, using what you did for Mateo.
Yeah.
And so that's really nice. That's really nice. When you saw the podcast afterwards and you were editing it, what kind of stood out for you, Guillermo?
The story and why and how she does, and looking from outside perspective, because you said I just been knowing her and working for her for 2 years. As a parent, it must be, it's the worst nightmare of a parent
Mm-hmm.
to live what she and her husband
Mm-hmm.
get out of bed every day and do this and try to make the school safe for
Mm-hmm.
everybody,
Mm-hmm.
knowing she's just, I mean, that's just a story. Every time I hear it, it's amazing for me. It's just a hero in real life for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When they say like, oh, you need like a whole group of people to do something and
Yeah,
then, say, oh, one person can't do something, or why should I attempt this because I'm just one person? Well, she is one person who created a movement, and she is just an average person. She's not
yeah,
a politician. She's
no,
not a television celebrity. She, out of her grief came Make Our School Safe to help all these children, or every child, and teacher,
yeah,
and school worker, and everybody, and her message is so important. What we get to do, what we have the honor to do, is to help her promote her mission and her nonprofit, Make Our School Safe. And I know that what's kind of important to us in doing that. And if you want to talk about, why don't you talk about the colors?
well, that's a funny story. I did a meme. uh, I will post it somewhere here with CMYK and RGB and Pantone colors. That's every struggle, every life, every day that you try to make it look good on the screen, but when you print it on different method, the color looks completely different. So we have been working on to get the right color for her, the right teal that I think we've done it this past of couple of printing for her.
Right, right. So if anybody who's watching this has a nonprofit that they want us to help them with their nonprofit, we're kind of like a little bit wacky about making sure that the colors are going to look the
Yeah,
same. All of us are. I know when Sarah prints on T-shirts, it's not the same as it is on paper.
no,
And I actually have a very good example right here. So this right here is our Spill the Tea logo on a coffee mug, and that is our teacup. The same one printed on this tea towel is, it's a little different. Look at the
yeah,
orange tea. The color of the tea is like lighter on here than it is in here. See that?
yeah.
And then I have our mouse pad, and the mouse pad is look. You can see the color green is a little bit different, and the orange,
And
and
it's the same file.
same file, same exact art file. So I guess we have to be a little bit lenient, and here it is in white. Change the color to white, but here you barely see the orange on here.
Yeah,
So it's different materials. Like this is a cork, and this is a like a an organic cotton, beige organic cotton. This is a cup, hard cup, metal cup, glass cup, and this is polyester. So it's all different materials. You want the same logo on it. I mean, fortunately, the logo stands out itself, but the colors are going to be a little bit different. And we are definitely, keep an eye out every single day. So I wish that you were able to get onto that podcast. We did another one with Neha, which was also very
yeah.
impactful. And we're going to be doing about 2 or 3 more serious ones. Then we're going to get into our fun holiday stuff and Halloween stuff, and we have two new stores that we just built. One of them also is an inspiration.
Yeah,
Evie, she started her store
yeah.
because of
Woman who inspired.
yeah, yep, yep. And I know in the beginning, working with her was a little bit difficult because of the designs that she thought she was going to put on versus what we kind of forced her to go down a tunnel just to make it a kind of like a symmetrical with all of her work, so it had one meaning, not all over the place. And that to her is, it seems like, I mean, you talk to her quite a bit. I think that it is almost like therapy for her, having her
Yeah,
story.
yeah, no, I think her artwork is amazing. It's another person that gets me inspired because
Hmm.
she started by not knowing anything about designing, about nothing about the store, and now she's a pro.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
she does everything by herself, so I feel a little bit proud of that. So
yeah, yeah. Yep, she asks a bunch of questions. You answer mostly, and yeah, she needs to. I think Deco Network needs to give her an award.
yeah,
for,
for sure.
yeah. So all right. So then let's get into this episode with Lori Alhadeff, Make Our Schools Safe. And Guillermo and I hope that you enjoy, and leave some comments below. Subscribe to our channel, and let's get make spill make a tea
Let's
online
get
spill.
spill
Spill the
that
tea.
tea.
Let's get spill the tea popular. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Enjoy, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hello, friends. How are you? I'm Meryl Catlin from Make It Tea Online, and I'm here with Lori Alhadeff from Make Our School Safe, and we are about to spill the tea. So, what is Spill the Tea? So, Spill the Tea is a podcast about the everything in the apparel and merchandise industry, and we are going behind the scenes of everything that has to do with branded merchandise. So, welcome to Spill the Tea. And thank you, Lori, for joining us. This episode that we're doing is part of a series of Merch with a Mission. And there is absolutely one of the greatest, most important missions with Make Our Schools Safe. So, Lori, why don't you tell us about Make Our Schools Safe?
Hey, Meryl, thank you so much for having me here today. So my husband and I, Dr. Elon Alhadeff, we started Make Our Schools Safe after the tragedy at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. My daughter, Alyssa, was one of the 17 that were murdered that day, that horrific day on Valentine's Day 6 years ago. So my husband and I, we turn our pain and grief into action. We started the nonprofit organization, Make Our Schools Safe, and we're focused on three main things. One is passing Alyssa's Law nationwide, which is a panic button in schools. So if there's a medical emergency or an active shooter situation, we want to empower our teachers to press a button directly linked to law enforcement so they could pull up the cameras, get eyes on the scene, and better direct their SROs exactly where to go. And then secondly is our MOS clubs, where our students in our high schools help to create a culture of safety within their school. And thirdly, we've given back over $400,000 to school safety projects in schools.
That is amazing. It's amazing what Make Our Schools Safe has done, and the mission of Make Our Schools Safe. And you and Alana are the driving force behind Make Our Schools Safe. And let's talk about how you get Make Our Schools Safe out into the community, out into the country, and how merchandise has helped that, and how sometimes difficult, we've had conversations, how difficult it is to actually have people purchase the merchandise. But we have a store called Moss Merch where people can go on and purchase something, and then that money helps to fund some of the stuff that is done with Make Our School Safe, some of the stuff that you have done to help the schools. But more than that, I really believe that having branded merchandise creates the awareness. And I have a bunch of questions for you, and I know that we talk all the time, but let's talk about how the awareness of somebody wearing, I mean, you're wearing Make Our School Safe right now. I've got right here something that we just recently did for a campaign. Your vote is your power. It's using the same logo, the same information, Make Our School Safe. It's just a different way. So it gives somebody else something else to wear. And also you're doing an event and you need at a gym and you need like something that is gym related. So here's here's a rally towel with Make Our School Safe on it. I mean, these things are so important. So how do you feel that when you're in the community and you see people wearing Make Our School Safe, does that spark a conversation with you and with them?
Yeah, so absolutely. We need to drive people to our website, which is makeourschoolsafe.org. And through our merchandise, through our shirts, our towels that has our website on there, it helps to drive people to our website because we function by donations. So when people buy a shirt and money is donated back to Make Our School Safe, that helps us drive our mission, which is passing Alyssa's Law nationwide, and our MOS clubs, and then helping to fund different school safety projects like bulletproof glass, mental health programs, fencing, security huts at different schools. And so when I see people wearing our MOS gear, it really makes me smile. It makes me happy. It warms my heart knowing that someone feels so strongly about what we're doing that they're going to wear a shirt and help us with our mission.
Okay. So I think it also helps to make other people notice what they're wearing. So like one thing that we talked about in one of our other podcasts is that when somebody else sees somebody on the street, or like, I mean, I'll bring up the commercial that you did with the guys from, or the actors from SWAT in a minute. But when you see somebody on the street, how you feel is one thing, and then how they affect other people is another thing. So, for example, when and I mentioned this to you, I had gone out to breakfast and I saw somebody wearing one of the events that you did, the turkey trot shirt. And so I was able to go up to them and say, hey, you're a supporter of Make Our School Safe. That's great. And then they were like, oh yeah, they didn't even, they were just like so glad to talk about it. So it's when you see somebody wear something, you know where they're coming from. Right.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying, like, it helps to spark the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So especially in states outside of Florida, where they might be still living in this bubble that they think nothing ever is going to happen to them or, at their school, which I was too. I was in the Parkland bubble. I never thought that somebody would come into Marjory Stoneman Douglas and shoot people. So it sparks that conversation. Hey, what is Make Our School Safe? Let's go to their website. Let's see what their mission is. And, oh, yes, Alyssa's Law. This is a great law. We should have that in our state in California. Let's try to educate our elected officials, talk to them. How can we get this passed in our state, and how can we create a safer schools in their state? And and I think that's so vitally important. And it's just it's a T-shirt or a headband or a towel, and that could spark the conversation.
Right. Now you also have to do a lot of events to keep on promoting Make Our School Safe. You can't stop, and you're never going to stop. I kind of like would relate that to when like all the big name brands like Pepsi and Coke and Walmart, and they advertise, and people think like, well, why do they really have to? And people know about them, but the truth is, not everybody remembers and not everybody knows. So it's you have to constantly be out there and doing all these things. And can you tell everybody about all the different events that you actually do for Make Our School Safe?
Yeah, so we have a golf tournament that we're doing actually coming up in October. We have a tennis fundraiser, a Play for 8 Cup, which is a soccer tournament. We have our Live for Alyssa Gala, which is our biggest event throughout the year. But then we do a lot of small campaigns with Make a Tea. We do Run for School Safety, Your Vote is Your Power. We kind of, depending on what's going on in the world, we will try to connect that narrative. And if it fits with Make Our School Safe, we could put it on a T-shirt and help to just keep driving the mission and keep the focus on protecting our kids and our schools.
Right, right. I mean, when you're driving around and you see bumper stickers on cars, it's like you always have to have that name, so that which actually tells exactly. I mean, you can't get a more clearer name. There's your cup. I mean, everything, which is awesome, which is awesome. So it's like you always have to be out there to, you're one person. And sometimes people ask, well, how does merchandise or how does branding, and it's not just the stuff that we do, but it's the stuff that everybody does. So everybody who gets to listen to this podcast, who are in the printing industry or who supply the printing industry with the things that they need to print and to create things and to market, it's really vitally important to make sure that people like Lori and Alon can have the ability to provide the merchandise and have and also at a price that's cost effective. So these things it's not just like one thing, it's a whole bunch of things on how to promote, especially promoting a nonprofit. So
right. And we have sponsors for our events. So when we sell a sponsorship, it might be a cup, and then our logo will be on it, and then the company logo that's sponsoring the event will be on it. Mm-hmm. So I'll come to Meryl and say, Meryl, we need a cup, and we have to try to figure that out. But we're always looking for cool ways to market our businesses through our sponsorships. And so Meryl's amazing. You're amazing as bringing new creative ideas, because people kind of get bored with just like T signs or whatever, but they want like creative, out of the box thinking. And I love that you bring that forward to me.
Oh, thank you. I know that we're working on the golf tournament, but not only the golf tournament, but you have 600 young soccer players that come to the Play for 8 Cup. That's a lot of families. And some families didn't even live in the area, back in 2018. They're new to the area, so things are still new to them. And
right. Well, even in Parkland, there's families that have come to live in Parkland. They know of the tragedy, but they don't really understand or know. And they don't really know in the last 6.5 years, how much school safety measures we've implemented in our schools, and how many amazing school safety bills the state of Florida has implemented statewide in Florida.
Mm-hmm. So with all of the donations that you've gotten from all the events that you do, and there's a little bit more than what you just said about tomorrow you're doing something at the gym. All these little things, not little things, but the little things add up to a big thing. Can you tell everybody what that money has done and where it has gone to school safety?
Yes. So we have given money back. We have like donations at work on our website, and we have a list of the schools and how much and what we've donated the money to on our website. But it's gone back to things like mental health programs, bulletproof glass, fencing, perimeter fencing in schools. We've created a school security hut. So when a car comes into the school, they have to show their ID. There's a security person there, cameras. And so all these different, we call them layers of safety protection. We've helped to fund Stop the Bleed kits, so if the worst happens, that they can put a tourniquet on the student's arm or leg and hypothetically save their life. And so, I know that the day of the shooting, that there was so many things that went wrong. But there's so many things that we can learn, like lessons learned to fix it so that it doesn't happen again. And so that's why I've made it a mission through Make Our Schools Safe to help raise this money using things like merchandise, like our shirts and hoodies And every little bit helps. Every little bit goes back into these school safety measures to put back into our schools. And then we also do a Alyssa Alhadeff soccer scholarship. Because most importantly for me, I want to keep Alyssa's memory alive. I want to make sure that Alyssa is never forgotten. You know, Alyssa was only 14 years old when she passed away, and she had so much more life to live. Alyssa was all-American girl. She was beautiful, incredible, outgoing. Her friends all loved hanging out with her. She loved the beach. She loved shopping. And so I have, you know, I say like Alyssa lives through me, and that if I can be Alyssa's voice, keep her memory alive, that's what I'll continue to do.
Mm-hmm. And you are doing that, and Make Our Schools Safe is your sounding board to be able to do that. It's, you know, people think, you know, they can stop, and they can't stop, and it's like you started a movement, and you are now nationwide. So there's so many states that you probably, I don't know, did you ever go to those states before? And now you're, I mean, people know you in every state because you're relentless to get this law passed. So this doesn't happen to anybody else's child. So
yeah, so we've passed Alyssa's law now in 7 states: New Jersey, New York, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Utah, and Florida. And so we're continuing to, you know, go till we're done with all 50 states.
right.
And that is the goal.
I know that you're traveling a lot, and I'm sure that you get tired, although you don't tell anybody that you're tired. But I'm sure that you get tired. But I would imagine that you hear new things and you see new things every place you go. What happens when you go to like a state that kind of, it's so hard to pass a law, which I'm going to say, you go to a state that it's a little bit resistance. Is there anybody that resists? Do people really say, you know, we shouldn't pass the Alyssa law here? Do you get that? Or is it just time consuming to get a law passed?
So, well, first I just want to say that, like this jacket that I'm wearing, I wore this jacket when I passed Alyssa's law in New York because, you know, nobody really knew me there, but I felt so empowered. Like this jacket gave me the resiliency that I needed to have that power, I guess to say, to push forward, to just continue to speak about Alyssa's law. And so I just wanted to mention that, like how clothing can give you that resiliency, that power to do something above and beyond what you really think you can do. And I never thought that, but it's like, you know, Superman has their cape. Well,
right.
It's just like my cape, and I put it on, and, you know, I feel that Alyssa's with me and that I can do anything, and I can help pass Alyssa's law in states where, you know, they might not think that Alyssa's law is needed, but when I talk to them and explain to them and tell them my story, and then they understand and that they don't want this to happen in one of their schools in their states.
Sure.
And it's a nonpartisan issue, Republican, Democrat. We all believe in protecting our kids in our schools and making sure that these layers of safety and protection are in place. And so that if there is a medical emergency, which happens 99% of the time, we can push that panic button and get help on the scene as quickly as possible. So I say that time equals life. Right. And we know that Alyssa's law saves lives.
That's really neat what you said about your jacket. And I love that. And it is like a cape, and it does. I mean, you know, obviously we print clothing and we want to talk about merchandise and everything, but it's so important. I mean, how many, you know, we all get dressed in the morning. We all have a choice to put on something that makes us feel good. And when you put something on that makes you feel good, you have a better day. You feel better about yourself. You're able to communicate better with people than when you put on something that, that means nothing, or that's like, ratty and torn. But I'm glad that we could, be part of decorating your wardrobe. I think that you have a lot of messages on your shirt, and messages are like your message on your arm gives you strength, and it tells people to watch out, So, yeah.
You've messed with the wrong mom.
You mess with the wrong mom. You mess with, yeah.
The other thing I would like to speak about, Meryl, though, is also the texture of the shirts. So, like, I know I kept saying to you, like, we need to find a t-shirt that is soft and it feels very comfortable. And this t-shirt I love, and it's so comfortable, and it just makes me feel good, and I want to wear it every day. So it's not only just the message, it's also the actual shirt and its texture and how it feels.
Right. So that shirt you're wearing it's like a distress shirt. It's like an acid wash shirt. And I mean, there are so many options for shirts, which is really kind of great to have all of those options. I mean, we're in Florida. It's normally warm, when you're outside. Inside, the weather can change a little bit, where the air conditioning can, you need a jacket or you need a long sleeve. Of course, in schools, in high school, the kids wear hoodies, whether it's 100 degrees outside or whether it's 30 degrees outside. So there are so many options in apparel. Like, you don't just have to have a regular, basic t-shirt to, you could wear that and wear that out to dinner because it looks nice. So you could be out to dinner at a fancy restaurant and people are saying, "Make our school safe," or and you can go to a sporting event and wear something. So having branded merchandise with your mission statement on it is, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. The name Make Our School Safe, for those who are listening that work with other nonprofits and help them to promote their nonprofits, the name is so important, because I know, like, when I look at things and I do critique other people's advertising and other people's marketing, it's just, something inside of me. Sometimes I see something, it's like, I don't even know what they do. I don't even know what they do. And they're spending this money and they're doing whatever it is, and you don't even know what they do. So you have a bunch of slogans. You have a lot of slogans, like, your voice is your power. Obviously make our school safe, grit, grace, and courage. I think believe. You had we did that. What was that cartoon? Little Miss Moss. And there was. I mean, if you go to mossmerch.com, you will see a ton of different options for slogans. But it all is in keeping with the same theme. It's all the same colors, the same tones, and the same theme. So that is highly, highly important. So when we're coming up with ideas for new merchandise with you, sometimes I know that, like, you'll give me an idea, and then we'll try to produce that idea. Sometimes it works. Sometimes we have to tweak it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes we make things. Well, the ability to have, like, an online store it's kind of virtual. So if things aren't made, if somebody doesn't like it, then they don't get it and we don't make it. And it's still okay, because we're not wasting, we're not, making something that people are going to throw away or whatever. But there is some beautiful, beautiful artwork that was done. Actually, three things I can think of. One of them was the watercolor painting of Alyssa with the heart hands. That was beautiful. It could be like a painting on a wall. Do you want to talk about how your collaboration, like with the artist with the butterflies, the Israeli artist with the butterflies, and we did the love?
Oh, yes. So we built a playground for Alyssa at the Chabad of Parkland, and it's a soccer-themed playground. And so we had people donate money, and if they donate money, they got a butterfly in this piece of art that spelled out the word love, but the butterflies were in that made the word love. And then what we did was we put that on a t-shirt. We put the love with the butterflies on a t-shirt in loving memory of Alyssa Alhadeff. So when we finally built the playground, and it's incredible. And then we did a ribbon cutting, and then everybody got a t-shirt to celebrate the day.
Which was beautiful. So do you know how you got that artist to collaborate with you?
So it was a conversation with Rabbi Gutnick and the artist, because that artist also did another piece of art in the Chabad for the 17. So it's the same artist, but that did our love.
Okay. So any other nonprofits, or like I'm saying, mission, organizations with a mission, reaching out to other people to collaborate is actually really a good idea, and it's very smart. And can you talk about how you got the actors from SWAT to wear the shirts, and that commercial that they did, that PSA?
So we had some connections with people that knew SWAT, and they amazingly did a PSA for Make Our Schools Safe for Your Voice is Your Power. So we had t-shirts made. We had to get their sizes and next day it to them, because they're in California, because they had a very specific time frame that they could do the video. And so they did the video, I believe, 3 different times for us, actually. And they're totally supportive, amazing. And it was a mission dear to their heart. And then we just kept the relationship and the conversation going.
It's incredible. And people can still see that video, I think, on Make Our Schools Safe Instagram page, and on Make Our Schools Safe Facebook page as well, on YouTube. Oh, nice. So actually, maybe we should be able to link it so that people can log on to that and see that when we're done with this podcast. We'll try to link that so everybody can get a chance to see it. It's very, very powerful. And for anybody else that like I've said, that is doing this, that's listening, that is part of the printing industry or part of the nonprofit industry or business owners, it's so powerful when you do a really nice video, when you have, I'm not talking about like silly stuff. This is important. I mean, silly stuff is good, but when you get something like this, you can see the difference in the quality of actors, professional actors. And it was really, that was like a wow moment. Like when I think that we actually made something, shipped it to the actors, to the studio, it was kind of like, made me feel like very proud to be able to do that. I was like, very, very proud to be able to do that.
Well, another thing, Mary, you have to remember is that they're influencers. They have a huge following. So if they post something about Make Our Schools Safe, now you're spreading the mission and the word out tremendously. So that's the other part, is trying to get to influencers to help support Make Our Schools Safe. It means so much to be able to get that type of exposure.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody has that connection to be able to do that, but one, I think, could lead to another, then could lead to another. And even if it's a local influencer, even if you just have local influencers, that will help promote your nonprofit or your merchandise with a mission, that is really important to get for everybody to know. Try to find like some local influencers that can help you as well. So I know I have a whole bunch of questions here.
Meryl, I wanted to talk about one thing. So we have our Moss Clubs.
Yes.
And part of the Moss Clubs is that they create a t-shirt with a design that they create with the Make Our Schools Safe logo. But they also get a business sponsor to sponsor their t-shirt. And then they'll put the business sponsor on their t-shirt, like their logo on the t-shirt. So through our Moss Clubs, our students are helping to brand Make Our Schools Safe, but also collaborating with local businesses. So it's a really nice synergy and relationship.
Yeah, that is. And the Moss Clubs are in high schools. Are they in colleges also?
So they're in high schools, and we would go into colleges. It is challenging, but we are getting into fraternities and sororities.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, to do fundraisers with fraternities and sororities. We have a link on our website where they can sign up. Philanthropy is a big part of fraternities and sororities, and so we love to connect and start those fundraisers.
Right, which is really great, because I was just going to say that, but you said it first about that is part of what they do. They have to have something philanthropic that they are doing, and then having Make Our School Safe. I mean, it's just a perfect synergy to do that, which is wonderful. So you have students that are going to grow up, have children that Make Our School Safe is important to. You have families, you have people that are grandchildren. You have, every person has somebody in their life, nieces or nephews or, whoever, that go to school. And it is so important. Like, you think, oh, your kids are grown, it doesn't matter, but it's not true. It does matter. It does matter. And I can't think of a more important mission than to protect our children. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I wanted to show you the back of my shirt, my jacket.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah. MSD strong. Yeah. And it says Alhadeff. And so the number 8 was Alyssa's soccer number. Now, is that in silver or was that in white? I can't remember.
Silver.
It's in silver. Okay. So you can always put something on something. It's hard to take it off. So nothing is ever going to come off of that. But there's some more spots on there. We can add more things. You've got patches on there. You've got pins. Yeah. You've got everything on there. Dog tag. Right.
Yeah. Pins.
And also when you come into our shop, you see a whole display of Make Our School Safe items. So when people come in, they also get hit with that message, Make Our School Safe. And that's also a way to promote. So people, if you had a sticker on a storefront that was there when people opened the front door. I mean, everywhere you go, on cars, bumper stickers or static clings on windows, everywhere, and QR code.
Right. Yeah. And QR codes. Remember, QR codes to drive people to your website.
They were huge. really big.
And then I put a QR code on my car.
And now they're huge again. And they're so important because everybody has a phone. Every single person has a phone. So so just going to the website, seeing things. It's we even have our QR code in our logo. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, we have to make you a new backdrop.
Right. Anyway, I should be putting QR codes on my backdrop, Mary.
All right. So, let's see. I have like I said, I have a bunch of questions here. I know that we talked about things. Okay. How can the visibility of the Make Our School Safe logo and slogans promoting school safety help to rally support and mobilize efforts towards creating safe and inclusive learning environments?
So I think it's about, a few things. One is I do public speaking and speaking to different school safety experts. And then when they hear me speak and they hear my story and see the value that our logo brings, that will help them go to our website, help them drive our message. And again, it's all about creating our logo, putting it on merchandise, whether it's a pin or a QR code or a t-shirt, but driving people to go back to the website. It's not always about donating. There's, you want to get people to volunteer. You want people to follow us on Facebook, Make Our School Safe 17, or Instagram, Make Our School Safe. And so to get followers, because it might not be something you post today, but it might be a week from now that they're going to connect with, and then they're going to like, comment, and share. And then that helps to get that algorithm going. So the post helps to move on the internet, which I don't really clearly understand how that works, but somehow somebody understands.
Yeah. I remember a couple years ago there was a football player. I remember what that like one game they're supposed to choose their nonprofit and they make their cleats into that whatever the nonprofit is. And you had one of the Miami Dolphins. And that was just incredible also. So all of these things are constantly to help promote. And it's nobody ever said it's easy. Nobody ever said it's easy. It's a lot of hard work, as you can testify for that, right? To get the name out constantly.
Yeah, and I just want to say too is like I really greatly appreciate my longtime supporters like you, Meryl, who have been with me since 2018 and has helped every step of the way. And it's not just it helping physically, it's helping emotionally, supporting, having my back. I say that I couldn't be in the position that I am in, not just that I run Make Our School Safe. I'm also the chair of the Broward County School Board. I've been on the school board for the last 7 years. And to have your support and others backing me and, keeping me going, they say I keep them going, but reality is you're keeping me going.
Thank you. And you do have a large tribe of people that love you and support you and are there for you, which is great because they're all great people. They're all great people. And you like you said, you still need volunteers for the different events, because I can just imagine. I know you're going to come up with more events to do, because that just seems like something that
Pickleball.
Pickleball, right?
That's
right. Pickleball.
Next up and coming, pickleball.
It's huge. Pickleball is huge, right? There's so many sports, and Alyssa was a athlete, so it's perfect to combine athlete stuff with Make Our School Safe to keep Alyssa's memory alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lori. Tell everybody how they can get involved with Make Our School Safe and how they can support your cause. And go ahead, and we will link everything also.
Yeah, thank you, Meryl. So please go to our website, MakeOurSchoolsSafe.org. You can sign up for our email blast, follow us on social media, make a donation, volunteer. We have a volunteer handbook. We have a new volunteer coordinator, Sarah, and she'll help you connect. You can start a Moss Club at your high school. I also just created a Make Our School Safe coloring book. You could purchase a coloring book and send a review. And so there's so many ways to engage. You can buy your Moss t-shirts, wear it proudly.
And wear it out in public. Wear it in public. Wear it grocery shopping. Don't wear it to school. Wear it outside. Wear it to the gym.
Check out our shop. You can get a hoodie. So there's so many ways that you can engage and get involved. And what I just like to say is thank you. And thank you for joining the school safety movement and helping us to make our schools safe.
Thank you, Lori. And thank you for spilling the tea with us today. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.